This regular meeting of the Judson Board of Trustees is hereby called to order at 7 p.m. We are very pleased that you've taken time to join us this evening. As the Judson Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals and policies and oversee the management of the district. We are responsible for approving budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and to listen to reports from the superintendent. We are not here to make administrative or management decisions pertaining to the daily operations of the district. This is the responsibility of the superintendent. In compliance with the State Government Code on Open Meetings, tonight's agenda has been appropriately posted. This is a meeting in public, not a meeting of the public. As our guests, you are welcome to observe and listen. These proceedings are being video and audio recorded and will become part of Judson's permanent legal record. In order that the tape adequately reflects these proceedings, please silence your mobile devices and refrain from talking while others are speaking. Since it is legally mandated that these proceedings are recorded accurately, I may have to ask for order periodically, should I notice that disruptions are interfering with our recording capabilities. Once again, we extend to each of you a sincere welcome from the entire school board. Thank you for your interest in Judson ISD. We have established a quorum, and I will call roll. Mr. LaFoyle.
Here.
Ms. Canoyer.
Present. Good evening, everyone.
Mr. Macias.
Present and welcome.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Present. Welcome.
Ms. Pichelle.
Present and welcome, everyone.
And I am Dr. Melinda Salinas. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And to my left, we have our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jeanette Ball.
Good evening. Thanks for being here.
If everyone will please rise for Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
I'd like to introduce to you our pledge leader for tonight. She is Haley Pattison, who's up here at the microphone, fifth grader at Candlewood Elementary School. Haley is crazy about her dogs. In fact, she has 3 of them, Kona, Remy, and Prissy. Along with playing with her dogs, she enjoys watching her favorite TV show, Trolls. Let's join Haley in the Pledge of Allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flags.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now it is time to recite the Texas flag pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
You may be seated. Let's give Haley a hand for a nice job. And while they're coming around, can I have Haley's family stand just for a moment to be recognized? Thank you. All right, let's give Haley a hand again, please. I'd also like to recognize our color guard for this evening, coming from Judson High School Junior ROTC, Cadet Major Richard Stiller, Cadet Captain Kalina Tupas, Cadet First Lieutenant Morgan Cherry, and Cadet Captain Jackie Farmer. All right, our first recognition comes from Kitty Hawk Middle School. Students from Kitty Hawk Skills USA opening and closing team came out of the state conference late last school year in Corpus Christi and did very, very well, qualifying for the national competition for the third year in a row. That national contest was hosted in Louisville, Kentucky this past summer, and for the third year in a row, they won the national championship for opening and closing teams in the Skills USA World. So here with us this evening are a couple of the members of that team. The rest of the team has moved on, of course, to high school at this point. But first of all, congratulate Eliana Guadardo. And the other team member that is here this evening is Victoria Mata. Now, the other team members that were part of that whole effort that went on to high school, Dara Billick, Maya Bruni, Yanderli Garcia, Yalana Zonley, and Shelby Luker also were a part of that effort. Also want to recognize their instructor, Mr. Julian Acevedo. Mr. Acevedo? Just in case that you're wondering what the opening and closing competition is, it's a teamwork and oral presentation contest that evaluates teams' understanding of specific elements to the mission and the purpose of the Skills USA program. So it's a little hard to describe sometimes, but it is pretty involved, and they definitely are competitive. And our next recognition comes from Judson High School. The Agri-Science program at Judson High School is truly one of the most active and honored CTE magnet programs anywhere in the city and state. The tradition continued even through the summer, as a matter of fact. Recently, 6 students from the Judson FFA chapter were awarded the Texas State Lone Star degree at the 90th Annual Texas State FFA Convention. That's the highest honor that can be bestowed at the state level. And 3 of those students are here with us this evening. They are McKenna Mossmeyer. McKenna? Dylan Cole. And Sydney Luna. Now, the other 3, Ian Milani, Cameron Dilworth, and Sutton Horner, have gone on to college. This recognizes the outstanding work these students have done in their FFA careers. Now, along with that, in addition, the Judson FFA chapter picked up the Golden Horizon Chapter Recognition Program, which recognizes chapters that succeed in involving a large number of members in a diverse array of activities available through the FFA. So the program was awarded the National Chapter Award for its robust program of activities, and Mr. Jay Trees is the director of that Agri-Science Magnet program. He was not able to be here because of a family emergency, but we want to recognize him as well. And will all the parents that are here this evening of these students, both these students and the Skills USA, can you please stand to be recognized? And those are our recognitions for this evening.
The next item on our agenda is the public comment period. This is a time for citizens, staff, or students to provide their comments to the board. A meeting that is open to the public under the Act is one that the public is entitled to attend. However, the Act does not give the public a right to speak at such public meetings except to address their grievances through the proper channels. As a courtesy to the public, the Judson Independent School District Board of Trustees allows time for public comment. Statements and questions from the audience will not be permitted during other portions of the meeting, so please sign up for public audience if you have comments to present. To have your comments heard tonight, your name and the topic of your comment must be written on the sign-in sheet prior to the start of the meeting, which is located at the rear of the meeting room. I know. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes to complete his or her comments. As a presiding officer, I will strictly enforce that time limit. Also, profanity, yelling, inappropriate, uncivil, or discriminatory comments will not be permitted. In accordance with the Judson ISD Board Policy, BED Local, in the event your comment, in my judgment as a presiding officer, constitutes a complaint or charge against an employee or officer, it will be necessary for me to interrupt you, ask you to stop, and direct you to seek resolution of your complaint through the district's appropriate formal grievance policy, DGBA for employee complaints, FNG for student or parent complaints, or GF for public complaints. By law, the Judson Independent School District Board of Trustees cannot lawfully discuss, deliberate, make comments, or make a decision on any matter raised in the public comment period which is not specifically listed on the board agenda for this meeting. With those cautions in mind, we will now be glad to hear general comments. And first, we have Kirk Murray. The agenda item is 2018 STEM Camp.
Anywhere or over there?
Right over there at the podium, sir.
Hi, my name is Kirk Murray, and I am the president of a local, very small nonprofit that was given an opportunity this summer to work with Judson. So the nonprofit's called LEAP. It's Learning Through Education Application by Partnership, so just remember LEAP. And I approached the school and said, hey, I want to put on a STEM camp this summer, and I'm really interested in working with Judson to make that happen. So I got in contact with Miss Deborah Rice, and she helped us out significantly. We were able to take 300 students, both the students that were 1st through 8th grade, and then the volunteers who were also students, and put them through a week-long STEM camp. They got to do robotics, drones, they went out to May's Boy Scout Ranch, and they just had a fantastic time. She brought in industry partners, and we were able to do something that we did not think was possible. And it was all because of your efforts to enable her to do that, and then also hers just stepping up and taking on that challenge. So I just want to say thank you very, very much to her. I want to say thank you to Judson. I pray that in the future we can work together again to put on another STEM camp this summer. And if not, I pray that I can cheer on whoever is able to do that. So once again, thank you very much, and I'm at 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Oh, really? I got more? Okay, no, I don't really need any more time. But I do want to present a letter. It's for Miss Rice, and then I have 2 copies. So if you guys want to keep one and then hand her one, I'd really, really appreciate that. I did send her out one that was generic, but I wrote one a little bit more personal for her this time.
Thank you so
can
much.
I come up and present that?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Next, we have Maria Taylor, and the agenda item to be discussed is working custodial jobs.
I'm going to try my best in English.
Okay.
Okay, and good evening. Okay, hello, my name is Maria Taylor, and I'm here with my co-workers. We work at Spring Meadows, most of us, elementary. I have worked with JISD more than 11 years, and have worked with these wonderful people for 6 years, and have worked together very well as a team. Our supervisor is Olga Castillo, and we have worked very hard together, serving over 600 children and school staff. We start work at 6:30 a.m., and time starts running, and we have tasks that we need to accomplish at a certain time. Time is our job and is very precious, as we need to carefully prepare every meal according to the guidelines of FDA. We enjoy watching every child eat our food that we gladly prepare for each of them. Sadly, we also understand that some children, this could be the only nutrition food that they might have for the day. We were able to have 5 minutes of break to catch our breath and have about 15-minute lunch, and come home with the satisfaction that we did our best, and can come satisfied that we did our job well done. Our supervisor always praises, and our yearly evaluation has been more than satisfactory in each and every one of us. Happy to say that we are a great team. 5 years ago, we were told that we need to do custodian duties now, that no longer custodians will provide their custodians duties in the cafeteria area. We were also responsible only to our Department of Kitchen duties inside the Children Nutrition Department. We were told to clean up the cafeteria area, cleaning tables, sweeping, mopping, and taking trash outside. We did it and satisfy our time that we had to to eat and rest. There is no more time to cash our bread, not even to go to the restroom sometimes. Every time we ask our supervisor on when we are getting help, she speaks with her supervisors. And even recently, we were told you've been doing you were doing it for years. Why change now? We were told. We used to take rotations to the custodian duties 1 week out to the month and have increased to 2 weeks out on the month. The excitement of being a child nutrition has diminished our stress in overwhelming. Recently, we had an anxiety attack on one of our, thinking it was a heart attack, and some other incidents, like children throwing up and things like that. It's very hard. We working with food and having to be dealing with little babies throwing up and many other schools have less children to serve and don't have the custodian duty. We are stressed out and overwhelmed. We want to know if this is going to change or not. We hope that one of you are listening, not to our complaints, but to our concerns. We are a great team that loves to feed children, but we did not apply to be custodians. We are here to plead your direction on this matter and are ready to listen to your resolution. Thank you. And on behalf of Bishop, everyone here.
If all the board members will go ahead and log in. I can't, our screen's not on, so I'm going to have to look at somebody else's for roll call. Okay. Well, ours is black over here.
I think the system's frozen. If you do it, it's,
What do you want me to do?
go ahead and proceed and roll call.
Proceed?
So yes, and
I'm doing it, I promise.
Is it frozen?
And this one's not. We're all here except for Miss Eaton, for the record. We will continue on to consideration of consent items. Please let me know if you'd like to pull an item. 4A, consider and take action regarding approving minutes from the regular board meeting held on July 19th, 2018, and special meeting that was held on August 22nd, 2018. 4B, consider and take action regarding approving the submittals for requests for proposal 16-01 fundraiser products and services. 4C, consider and take action regarding approving expenditure equal to or greater than $50,000. 4D, consider and take action regarding approving monthly financial information as of August 31st, 2018. 4E, consider and take action regarding approving the submission of the 2018 appraisal roll as certified by Bear Appraisal District for the Judson Independent School District. 4F, consider and take action regarding approving the submission of the 2018 effective and rollback tax rates for the Judson Independent School District. 4G, consider and take action regarding approving the submission of 10-20-year tax levy write-off as presented by the Bexar County Tax Assessor Collector for tax accounts in the Judson Independent School District. 4H, consider and take action regarding approving a resolution declaring Bexar County 4-H as an extracurricular activity and Bexar County 4-H extension staff adjunct faculty status. 4I, consider and take action regarding approving the second reading of the following local policies. BBD Local, Board Members Training and Orientation. CAA Local, Fiscal Management Goals and Objectives, Financial Ethics. CJA Local, Contracted Services, Criminal History. DI Local, Employee Welfare. FEA Local, Attendance, Compulsory Attendance. FL Local, Student Records. 4J, consider and take action approving EHDC Exhibit, Alternative Methods for Earning Credit, Credit by Examination Without Prior Instruction, Audit Process. 4K, consider and take action regarding approving a proclamation declaring October Family and Community Engagement Month. 4L, consider and take action approving a proclamation declaring October 2nd, 2018 as Custodial Appreciation Day. 4M, consider and take action regarding approving a proclamation declaring September 28th, 2018 as American Indian Heritage Day. 4N, consider and take action regarding approving a proclamation declaring September 15th through October 15th, 2018 as National Hispanic Heritage Month. 4O, consider and take action regarding approving a proclamation declaring October 2nd, 2018 as Converse, Texas National Night Out. 4P, consider and take action regarding approving a proclamation declaring October 22nd through 26th, 2018 as National School Bus Driver Appreciation and Bus Safety Week. 4Q, consider and take action regarding approving the fast-track hiring of teachers, librarians, nurses, specialists, and counselors. 4R, consider and take action regarding approving an electric and gas line right-of-way agreement with the City Public Service Board of San Antonio. 4S, consider and take action regarding approving the superintendent's evaluation instrument for the 2018-2019 school year. 4T, consider and take action regarding approving the board self-evaluation instrument for the 2018-2019 school year. Okay, so we'll be voting on 4A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, and S. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion, Mr. LaFoille, second, Ms. Pichelle. Go ahead and proceed to vote. I guess we can't. Never mind. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. 4Q, consider and take action regarding approving the fast-track hiring of teachers, librarians, nurses, specialists, and counselors. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Macias, second, Ms. Rodriguez, and Mr. Macias. Oh, Ms. Pichelle, excuse me. Mr. Macias.
Thank you. Yes, Dr. Ball, this fast track it's something that's not in place currently for those areas?
No, it is. It's been in place.
So do we have to update this annually then so that we can fast track? Is that why it's on the agenda?
I believe that is the reason. Yes.
Okay, just curious.
Thank
And
you.
so how has it worked in terms of being able to fast track over the previous years? Is there any input that this has really helped kind of bring in?
Yes, it does help specifically in the summer months, but it does help all the time as the school districts are all competing for teachers. So if we were to wait and hold off and not hire them, there's a very good chance that we would lose that applicant.
Do we lose them anyway, you think? I just kind of curious.
Not the ones that we fast track. They accept the job and they stay.
There's a probability that they'll actually take the offer and continue employment with us?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Are there any further discussion? Any further questions? Okay, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. 4T, consider and take action regarding approving the board self-evaluation instrument for the 2018-2019 school year. Do I have a motion? Motion, Mr. Macias, second, Ms. Pichelle. Mr. Macias.
Yeah, I like the instrument. It looks pretty cool. But I'm kind of curious, was it Walsh that developed it? Where did it come from?
No, we developed it last year. We went through and we all had to provide feedback, and so this is our instrument that we used last year, and so it's just the same one
It's the same instrument?
that we all provided input on.
Oh, that we provided input?
And we did use it last year.
Do we?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I like it. Maybe that's why I like it. I haven't seen it since last
We
year.
did it. We
looks
did
good
it. That's
now.
why it's great.
All right. Well, that's all I have. Thank you. That's all I have.
Any further discussion? Okay, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Item 5A, consider and take possible action regarding approving the 2018 tax rate. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Canoyer, second, Mr. Macias. Dr. Ball?
Yes. I'm going to give this one to Mr. Elizondo.
Sure. Sorry, board members. Excuse me. Every year, we're required to bring to the board the tax rate that we're proposing for that particular tax year. And these are the rates that we're proposing for this tax year for collection to support our budget. And we're proposing that we adopt an M&O tax rate of $1.04, which is the same rate that we've had for many, many years now. And for the debt service, which is what we need to pay for the principal and interest on our bond payments, 40 cents. These are the rates that during our public hearing that we held for the public to come and have input on our budget and tax rate to support that budget, these were the rates that were proposed at that time. So we're asking for the board's consideration and hopefully approval. And it does need to be a roll call vote. So if the automated system isn't working, if we could please have it.
No problem.
Thank you.
I'll call everybody by name. Right. Any questions? Okay, we'll proceed to vote. Mr. LaFoille? We have to do roll call vote. So Mr. LaFoille, yes? Okay. Ms. Canoyer?
Yes.
Mr. Macias?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Pichelle?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also, so motion carries 6-0. 5B, consider and take possible action to allocate $250,000 to initiate district-wide summer programming for Judson ISD students. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion, Mr. Macias, second by Ms. Pichelle and Mr. Macias.
Yes, thank you. I'll be brief on this. I've given some thought. Last summer, when we were looking at programs across the district, it became clear that we did not have any funds allocated specifically to, I'll hold. So my concern was we did not have funds for allocating for summer programming. And then we were also dealing with infrastructure improvements that needed to happen in our facilities. So bottom line, we didn't have an opportunity really, I believe, to maximize summer programming. So it's September. I'd like to at least put an allocation out there. I am not suggesting that we spend all 250. We may need more, we may need less, but I'd like to have the board give administration the initiative to start looking and to have sort of an idea of what is out there. In my meetings with different elected officials, Commissioner Calvert, State Representative Barbara Governor-Hawkins, I mean, there is some potential for us to partner with them, but it's going to be, I think, much more fruitful if there is an allocation of funding for us to discuss. And I'll give you an example. The conversation that I had with State Representative Barbara Governor-Hawkins was with workforce development. And if we were to allocate funding, they would find state funds to match that to offer high school kids some workforce placement, which I think would be very helpful for them in their endeavors. So as long as we're able to engage our students throughout the summer, I think it will make our students better prepared when they get back after summer. So again, 250 is just a number to start with, and certainly the more important aspect of it is to empower our administration to start looking for avenues that will provide programming that will impact a majority of our children, not just title campuses, but across the board. So, like, for example, the gentleman that addressed us today with the STEM camp program, we could actually allocate more funding for that because I understand that that was at full capacity and there was no room for additional students. So if it meant adding more of those type of programming, if that was the desire, then we'd have an opportunity. But I wanted to put it out there so that we could at least start planning. And September's a good time to start.
Ms. Pichelle.
Thank you. My first question, I have two questions, just two questions. First of all, Dr. Ball, where did the figure come from of 250?
I didn't come up with that figure. I don't have a plan at this time. I did share with Mr. Macias that I don't mind coming up with a plan, but I certainly haven't had the opportunity to do that. So the figure came from a recommendation from Mr. Macias.
Okay. Question number 2. And I guess, Dr. Ball, may I address Mr. Macias? Mr. Macias, in April, we received a document that you had asked for that identified all the summer programs that our district has. So I'm glad that you specified what you were talking about, because we have a list of all of the programs that we use. And I didn't know what more you were talking about, what more you're looking for. So STEM's not on here, so you're talking about a STEM camp. And then you said workforce development, of which I'm familiar with because I used to, for many, many years in the summer, work with JTPA. And that's exactly what that is. Those teenagers are working in the summer, but there were specific qualifications of the kind of kids that could register for those summer programs. So my concern is, first of all, what would the programs be before we start looking at how much money would cost? That's all.
That's a fair question. The hope is that once we've empowered administration to move forward, they can do their homework and determine what could work. There may be a discussion that 250 is too much, and let's go ahead and reduce that, or they may come back and say, you know what, for 300,000, for 50,000 more, we can do this. At this point, I would hate to have administration move forward if there's not a vision from this board to provide more support during the summer for all of our students. So looking at programs, the STEM and the workforce development is just one aspect. But with funding set aside for summer programming, we could look at art programming, we could look at additional technology programming. There are different type of camps or programming that could really be beneficial for our students, not to include character development. So there's just really a whole bunch of options. But I would imagine our administration could get to work and identify what would be a fit for us and would be a fit for all of our students. The whole premise is that we impact as many students across the district as possible. And so I know in District 4, we do see an increase in mischief and criminal activity, and some of them are from students. So we need to have them engaged, and I believe that we empower administration, we'll come up with something that could really help. And to include smaller municipalities as partners, like Universal City and Live Oak and Converse and Kirby, who may be open and eager, their city councils, to do work and collaborate with us. So like I said, it just opens up so many potential opportunities, but we have to kind of set at least a budget amount, and also, more importantly, make a statement. We're committed to this, and so that's what I think this would accomplish.
Mr. Macias, I think it's a good idea, but I feel like as though it should be coming from the bottom up versus the top down. And so, you know, I agree, if we're going to need money, I'm guessing it's going to have to come out of the fund balance, Mr. Elizondo? So I'm not okay, agreeing to $250,000 right now, but if there are principals who have programs that they want to try, I would hope that they would come and present a proposal to Cabinet or to Dr. Ball. And I don't know if anybody's ever been turned down for a summer program that they want to do beyond the state comp ed funds and the title funds that we already use. I don't know if that's ever happened.
I wouldn't know about the past history, but I can tell you that our plan was to develop a plan and to put together something to keep our students engaged during the summer.
Because certainly if there's campuses, and every campus is different, and so if there's something that they want to try and they come to, you know, Dr. Ball and the Cabinet and then come and say, I would need $10,000 for that, I could certainly see supporting that, because I do think it's a good idea, but I do think that we need to know what are the programs going to be, and do we need more money or less money? So that's just my thoughts. Mr. LaFoille, I'm sorry.
The only question I have on this, is this going to be distributed equally through the whole district or just one end?
If you're asking me right now, Mr. LaFoille, I do apologize. I don't have a plan right now, but I could work on something.
I'm just asking, when you make this plan, are you going to distribute it equally through the whole district?
I can't-
Or are you just going to have main schools?
I-
Because if you're having main schools only, I won't approve it. I will not vote for it.
Right.
I seen it happen years back, and I don't want it anymore. My kids get left out.
Right. Again, all I can say is I would develop a plan with the team. We would look at the needs, and I could definitely report back to the board, but I need a little more time.
Okay. Suzanne?
Ms. Canoyer.
Thank you. I agree that we want to offer support to our students throughout the year. But I also think that our charge is to develop plans from our campus improvement plans, our district improvement plan, and those are the areas we should be looking at as to when we spend money. I also think that I would be more comfortable approving a plan instead of saying, here's $250,000, go make a plan. I would prefer to have them bring the plan to us with the amount that's specified that it would be, and then approve it at that point.
Mr. Macias.
All very good points, and that's why I put these things on the agenda so we can kind of work through them. My concerns with, of course, not approving this today would be one, that we would send administration a message that we're not supporting summer programming, which would again be a concern for me because I want summer programming. My other thing that Dr. Salinas had mentioned about our campus principals coming forward, I know that's how the process has worked. I, in my 8 years, have not seen a centralized district-wide initiative, which is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a centralized district program that will assist our campuses, but will come from the district. And so I know that by doing so, it will address Mr. LaFoille's concerns of equity, which I want the entire district to benefit. So when we look at this plan, I want to ensure that it's touching every sector of our district. So I certainly would not be supportive of a plan that would allocate fundings and it's not distributed. But the charge would be for administration to find programs that would impact as many students as possible across the district. The campuses that use state comp ed money and title money, that's actually a supplement. That actually will help students that are in those social economic schools even more so. So this is a district-wide, centralized effort that would complement everything else. But if we leave it fragmented, I'm fearful that we won't get to that centralized aspect. And it needs to be, I believe, from the district. I'm also okay with omitting the dollar figure. Like I had mentioned, it's more important that we move forward, and if we work with administration, they come back, and that's fine too, and we can talk about what that looks like. But 250 was just sort of a parameter to start the conversation. And so when we talk with city councils, municipalities, we talk with state representatives, county commissioners, we need to have some sort of idea of what we as a board would be willing to work with, because we could say $1 million, and then, you know, where's the cutoff going to be? So that's why I say that 250 would be a humble effort to begin a year one program and look at those collaborations and partnerships. So I just think it's upon the board to provide leadership. And so, and again, there was a comment, I don't know who made it, about administration bringing this to us and then we approve it. My concern is that administration does not have unlimited hours. I would not want to charge administration with doing all this homework and then we don't approve it. So at least we're saying at this point, we're prepared to approve $250,000 and let's move forward. If it comes out to more, tell us what it looks like. If it's less, great. But we need to set the tone. So that's why it's set the way it is and why I put it on for discussion.
Any further comments? Ms. Pichon.
Mr. Macias, I really do want to, I want to help you out on this, but I just can't support allocating a dollar amount for something we don't know what it is yet.
like I said, we can cut it. I'm agreeable. I'll amend the motion to just omit the dollar amount, and then we come back. It's still a working possibility. The only thing in my opinion is that we don't know where to start from when we start looking at collaboratives. And that's what I'm concerned with. If we were to really take the state representative up on her offer to find state funding, and they'll match, where's the threshold going to be? So that's the only concern, but if it means compromising to get this item passed, I'm okay with it. We'll come back and we'll revisit it later, because again, more importantly, we need summer programming.
I would love to have somebody, to have state funding match, but I prefer to have the state funding first to make sure it's coming through. What if it doesn't come through? And so if you take off the amount, and if you amended the motion, it would be consider and take possible action to initiate district-wide summer programming.
That would be it.
I think we already have that, though. So that's why I don't know how would this be different than what we already have for district-wide summer programming?
Because looking at the data that Ms. Pichelle has, it's clear that we have no STEM programming. It's clear that we have no workforce development programming. It's clear that we have no art programming. It's clear that we don't have more than just what's there. And a lot of it is athletics and sports related, which is fine. I mean, that's a very important thing. But what we need is to set that tone. I'm telling you, it's important that we say we need to expand this. That's what's different about it. It's not just that programming. And again, more importantly to me is that it sends a message to our community that the board wants to see us do more in the summer. So whatever that alignment is, which Ms. Kanoy had a great point with the campus improvement plans, it's easy to align now our efforts across the board. Campus principals, titles, everything just comes together. That's what I think is different, and we don't have that right now.
But your campus improvement plans are based on your campus needs.
Yeah, I know.
So every campus is.
It's gonna need something different.
Right.
Well-
And if we do the summer programming, 226 principals are going to be your high school principals, because you have to have personnel, obviously, to run any program.
I don't know, there are a number of nonprofits that are doing programming for kids that we could potentially partner with. There's the San Antonio Area Foundation that has Excel Beyond the Bell. There's just, again, we got to open the door, guys. And so it can't be the same thing we've been doing and thinking it works. So this, again, and that's what's different. That's something that, as I look at moving forward on this agenda item, I'll talk to Dr. Ball and administration about what's happening here. But again, it's more important that we do this and we know that there's at least a level of support, so administration's not just turning their wheels and coming back 3 months from now and then we don't like it. I think it gives them a better opportunity to work on something the board is going to support. So at that point, I'll amend the motion unless there's another question or two, because I'll remove the dollar amount.
Is there any more comment?
Well, my only other comment was, yes, remove the dollar amount, but why don't you be specific about the program? Why don't you say, initiate district-wide workforce solutions, nonprofit STEM, why don't you just be specific about the type of program that you're thinking of and just identify it?
Okay. So,
And then that's what the staff can work on, maybe.
sure.
Mr.
Can I add something?
Oh,
sorry.
yes. Mr. LaFoille, and then.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion that we table this till it can be thought through a lot more than this right now. Right now, it's just a bunch of words going out, and we need to have something concrete when we go out there. And it's a good idea. It's a very good idea. But, like I said before, I think it should be brought up to everybody, get all the people involved. Right now, it's just going out. We don't know what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, or what. So I make the motion that we table it till the next meeting.
Second.
Okay. Motion to table in second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-1. table for the next board meeting, regular board meeting. 5C, consider and take possible action regarding approving an amendment to the Judson ISD compensation plan for the 2018-2019 school year. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. LaFoille, second by Ms. Pichelle. Discussion. Dr. Ball?
Sorry, excuse me. When the compensation plan, specifically the stipend part, was approved, at that time, we did not have two opportunities that we now have. So many years ago, Judson ISD provided the opportunity for students at the high school to participate in the Texas Academic Decathlon. So that had ceased about 10 years ago, is from what I was told. So now we'd like to bring that up to give the students at all three high schools the opportunity. But in doing that, we need the stipends for the coaches. So we are proposing to have 4 coaches, and each one of them would receive $2,700. The other stipend is to do something similar that we are doing for new teachers and teacher mentors. So we would propose to have a lead librarian media specialist stipend in the amount of $3,000, and that would be for somebody in-house that is willing to take on more duties and responsibilities to coach, mentor, support the new media specialists that we have within the district.
Any discussion? Ms. Canoyer?
Have you already selected someone who would take that position?
No, ma'am, we have not. We have developed a criteria that has some of the items that we are looking for. Somebody that could develop a handbook, be there to mentor, provide support, help, with managing the library. So it would be somebody from inside that would be able to apply.
Mr. LaFoille?
How will this person be chosen? From the librarians go ahead and vote on it, or what?
Probably they would not be voting on it. It would be whoever is interested would have a little small interview process, if there's more than one that's interested.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Pichelle?
Okay, I have a couple of questions, Dr. Ball. So this person would still be at their campus, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But they would be taking on more responsibilities, and the responsibilities are those that you have listed.
Yes.
So, wouldn't a high school media specialist have more flexibility than an elementary media specialist?
It could be. I don't want to say necessarily that they might. Each one of our media specialists right now has some real unique responsibilities. So I wouldn't be able to say for certain if the high school has more time than an elementary one.
Okay. So right now, you don't have anybody in mind?
I do.
There's no particular person to recommend to us?
Not to recommend, no. I do know of an individual that is interested.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, since we do have this hiring freeze, and we're tightening our belts, and everybody is taking on more responsibility, is this going to be our standard from now on? Is that we will tighten our belts, but offer stipends to those that volunteer to step up to take on more responsibility?
No, ma'am. As administrators will not be receiving a stipend. I can use the example of my senior staff. Each one of them has taken on different responsibilities, and I have told them that it comes with no pay raise, comes with no stipend. It's one of those other duties as assigned, so all of them know that. This stems from there used to be
Right.
a coordinator, and then when the coordinator left, through attrition, we are trying to minimize the
Right.
deficit. So if it is a person that is at a campus such as a teacher or librarian, media specialist, those individuals, I do feel that they need the stipend because it's a little bit different than an administrator.
So there's somebody in mind that could take on this responsibility.
I don't want to say there's somebody in mind because everybody has a fair chance.
Yes.
But I do believe that there is a qualified person out there that has many years of experience and would be able to help us grow so we keep the media specialists that we currently have. We have several new ones. We even have 2 vacancies. So we want to make sure that we support the individuals that we do have so they want to stay.
So who's the go-to person right now for the media specialists?
Right now, that area falls under Dr. Cantu. So when we did the alignment of who has those responsibilities, she would be the one that it falls under her. But we wanted to have somebody that had some direct experience with media specialists and it's another layer of support.
Do you support this, Dr. Ball?
Yes, ma'am, 100%.
Okay, thank you, that's all.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. I do have to go back to 5A and read an ordinance required. Okay, get ready. Not the ordinance? Okay, not the ordinance. Okay, well. Okay. So we're going to vote again? Absolutely, please.
So we're going back to 5A.
5A.
And the motion is, I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of $1.44, which is effectively a 2.48% increase in the tax rate. The total tax rate consists of a rate $1.04 for maintenance and operations and a rate of 40 cents for debt service.
I have a motion by Ms. Canoyer, second by Mr. LaFoille, I think. We'll do roll call vote. Mr. LaFoille?
Yes.
Ms. Canoyer?
Yes.
Mr. Macias?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Pichelle?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Okay, 5D, we will take care of during closed session. 6A, Superintendent Report, Construction Report.
We have a video that we would like to show you, so I think we might need a few minutes to get that on the screen. But nope, it's good?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good.
Welcome to the September 2018 Construction Report, where we will take a look at some of the major work being performed around the district. Judson ISD is in the middle of multiple construction projects, primarily related to the 2016 and 2017 bonds. Currently, one of the biggest active projects underway is at Veterans Memorial High School. In fact, Phase 2 is so extensive, we had to break it into 2 projects. First, the athletic fields. This includes varsity, baseball, softball, and football practice fields. Since the opening of the school in 2016, the athletic fields have been awaiting completion to make it comparable to other comprehensive high schools in the district. In this animation, the softball field is the one with the all-dirt infield, and the baseball field has the grass infield. Along with these fields are air-conditioned locker rooms, a concession stand, and restroom facilities that will serve both sets of fans. The second project of Phase 2 of Veterans Memorial will be the building of a new academic wing that will help accommodate the expected rise in enrollment at the campus. This will expand the student maximum capacity of the campus to around 2,400. Meanwhile, the campus will also see the construction of a new auditorium with supporting facilities near the front of the school. This will provide a true performing arts venue instead of the current stage in the cafeteria. Currently, the academic wing and the auditorium are going into the bidding phase for construction. Coming in close to the size and scope of the Veterans Memorial Project are the renovations at Kirby and Kitty Hawk Middle School. Looking at the big picture from Kirby Middle School, the 400 building, which houses the CTE and art classes, has already been demolished and the debris is being removed. Those CTE and art classes have been moved to the 500 building. New buildings going up include the administration building, which will also house numerous classrooms and a new gym. Workers are already preparing the ground for the new gym. Also coming down will be the old administration building and the old gymnasium. The location of the old administration building will be transformed into a courtyard area. It's important to note that no buildings will come down prior to securing adequate space or before a new replacement goes up. After the establishment of the new administration and academic building, the 500 building will also come down. The new administration building and gymnasium are scheduled to be finished by the end of summer 2020. Next is Kitty Hawk Middle School. This rendering shows what changes are planned for this campus. Electrical power has been transferred from overhead to underground. This will allow for demolition of the gym and 3 academic wings while maintaining power for the school and for the construction of the new buildings. Completion is scheduled for spring of 2020. Soon to be the district's newest school, Wortham Oaks Elementary is progressing at a good pace. Mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and roofing are in progress along with interior framing, drywall, and painting. It's currently 72% complete and planned to be finished in fall of 2018. Finally, Escondido Elementary School opened on time, under budget, and fully functional on the first day of school last month. The contractor is working on detailed items after school and on weekends, while the district is currently reviewing closeout documents. Also related to bond work are the safety and modernization and improvement projects at numerous campuses that include security vestibules to technology upgrades. A significant amount of roofing work not related to the bonds are being funded through pending insurance claims. Construction bids have been received by JISD on August 30th, and we will move forward after review and evaluations. This is not an exhaustive update, but we wanted to give you information about the major projects that are currently in the works. Please contact the Operations Division for any updates on current or past construction projects. That concludes the construction report. I stand ready to answer any questions, but I really would like to say thank you to David Rose for all the work and effort that he put into this video. It was really something. Thank you.
I just want to share with all the board that we wanted you to be able to see it first. So then after this will be going everywhere. We'll put it on Facebook. We'll put it on our website. If you would like, we could send it directly to you too, so you could help us share it. So you will see this video. Several Friday notes ago, I sent a list of all the items that we're going to do by month. So this is just the beginning to make sure that we have our community is informed of all the great things that are happening at Judson ISD.
Ms. Pichon.
I just want to say thank you, Dr. Ball, because I like that communication just seems to be your top priority, and we're just doing a really good job. I hope you think that we are doing a good job at being better at that, because it really, I can tell the difference, and I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate that comment. I think I've shared it over and over that this year we're going to over-communicate.
We'll move on to 6B, review the 2017-2018 safety audit summary.
Yes, ma'am. You have a copy of that. Every district in the state of Texas is required to go through this safety audit. We wanted to provide this information. It comes with us some recommendations that we will certainly be taking care of, but wanted just to provide you this opportunity to ask us any questions if the board did have any.
Are there any questions? Okay, we'll move on to C. First reading of the following local policies: DHE local, employee standards of conduct, searches, alcohol, drug testing. C2, FFA-C local, wellness and health services, medical treatment. Any discussion? Okay, 6D, discuss non-exclusive license for use of school word marks and logos. Ms. Pichelle.
Thank you. I asked for this to be on the agenda. Actually, it was by accident that I thought about it, but just to let the public know, when you go to the grocery store or to Walmart or some of the other places that we frequent, I have found a lot of Judson paraphernalia at these places. I can go to Academy and find a Judson cup that would have a Judson logo. It's definitely at Walmart. We can find Judson clothes, shirts, socks, all of those things. I've even found when I worked at Kitty Hawk, I was able to buy a Kitty Hawk shirt from Walgreens on the corner. The reason why I wanted this to be on the agenda for discussion was because Dr. Ball informed me that our district does get a certain percentage from those companies that are selling our items, but we do have a trademark on our stuff, on everything that we sell. And there's a certain amount that they're supposed to give us, but I don't know what those values are. And I would like those proceeds come to the district, but by way of Judson Education Foundation. What I don't know is how much money have we made off those sales? I mean, what are we actually earning from those companies that are selling our items? And the other thing that concerns me is this takes away from what our booster clubs do. Our booster clubs are there to supply the district with our own stuff. And I guess that's what every booster club does in every school district. But it takes away from what we try to sell, because Walmart can sell it a lot cheaper than our booster clubs are. And that takes away from our booster clubs. So my question to the board is, what do you think about it? And do you think that it's worthy of revisiting with our legal counsel to see if possibly we could renegotiate the amount of money that we are making from those places, from those vendors? So I brought it to the board because I wanted to see what you guys thought about it.
Mr. LaFoille.
Did that make sense?
The stuff they're selling at these stores is not quality. It's not quality even close. What the kids sell in the stadium, at the baseball, football, and all the games is quality. It's a good T-shirt. They got, all the high schools got T-shirts from a company, free. They give them to them, and I see why. They wouldn't make a good dish rag. These are so cheap that you can stand and see through them. They tried shooting them up in the launchers we have. They wouldn't go. We had to knot them up to get them to go up. So the thing is, this is something we really need to look at. I brought this up before. And Jose looked at it, everything else, and he did get them to give us something. But how much they're giving us? They aren't giving us enough. I'll be honest. When you start taking money away from the kids, that's when I get mad. Those kids work hard to get this money for their clubs, their schools, their sports programs. So we need to do something. Thank you.
Dr. Ball.
I just wanted to provide some additional information. The only ones that really have our permission to do this is the Walmart and the Dick's Sporting Goods stores, the HEB on FM 78 and the one on Kitty Hawk, and also a local business by the name of Full Circle Creations. So those are the only ones that should be. There's probably a lot more. But those are the ones that have the agreement with us. In the past 2 years, the amount that we have collected has been $2,693.38. Is that from all? Yes. That's. Repeat that, please, Dr. Blau? Yes, ma'am. $2,693.38. Wow. So we would be glad to look into this if that is what the board will direct me to do.
Well, if nobody else is going to say anything, yes, ma'am.
Right.
Please look into it.
Please look into it.
Please
Yes,
look
ma'am.
into it, because that is, oh my gosh. That's not even that's not a profit at all for us. And and would you please, you said Walmart on FM 78?
HEB on FM 78. When the Walmarts, it's any Walmart, and then the Dick's Sporting Goods stores, and then also the HEB on Kitty Hawk, and the Full Circle Creations.
And there are way more companies that that are not on that list.
There's a company that calls the people that I used to give to when I did my shirts.
Wow.
He calls them up and says, we're putting out quality shirts, because I talked to one of the people. Dick Barbecue is the one who did. He called me up and said, what is this? And I says, hey, they got nothing to do with the school, and they aren't on the list either.
No, so those are the
So
only
the
ones.
thing is, and those are the shirts I was talking about that are so cheaply made. It's unbelievable. So I think if you look into it, next time you go in there and you find one of these shirts, lift up the tag, there's a name underneath it, who made it. And now when I go in, I'll get every one I can find, every name that they show you. Oh,
What I really need is I think it's called like a barcode, UR code, or something like that. If you send that to me, that's what will help me.
okay, I'll get everything off the shirt.
Thank you.
And you say Walmarts, the little mom and pop ones, I call them, they got groceries and all that, they're selling our shirts. Yeah, they're selling them.
But all
Everybody's selling them.
Walmarts can.
Yeah,
All
well,
Walmarts can.
For one price?
The percentage that we get is a 10%.
Oh,
Wow.
There's 3 choices that you could have. It's either receive no royalty, a fixed fee, or 10%. The only thing that I do have to remind the board of is that we have entered into this agreement for this year.
Okay.
So it would not change
Until.
until the following school year.
Ms. Canoyer.
One thing I know is that a trademark is only as good as your enforcement of it, and how you go after people who violate and use your trademark without permission. So I would like to see us pursue this. I think as a school district, we should be looking for every little penny we can get when we're in the position that we're in. And if it helps our booster clubs to be more exclusive in terms of being able to sell the shirts and so forth, then I think that's well worth looking into.
Okay, if there's no further discussion. 6E, update on board advisory committees. Do we have anyone that has any updates? Ms. Canoyer.
Next Monday is the first committee meeting for the Curriculum Board Advisory Committee. It'll be meeting at 6 o'clock at JECA in the Commons area, and anyone who's interested in what our curriculum committee is doing, where we're moving in terms of curriculum. It's a wonderful committee doing lots of really good work. So everyone is invited.
Anyone else? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're on E?
Yes, ma'am, we're on
Okay.
E.
No.
Okay, 6F, update on board training, conferences, events, and consider future agenda item requests by board members. Ms. Rodriguez.
I will be attending the TASB conference in Austin next weekend.
Thank you. Ms. Pichelle.
I too will be attending the TASB conference next week. And for those of us that may not know, we were talking about a lot of recognitions earlier. Next Tuesday is Technology Appreciation Day. So in some form or fashion, we need to appreciate our technology department for all that they do for us. And, except for tonight.
It's not till Tuesday. Fix it by Tuesday.
Get it done by Tuesday, we'll recognize you. No, I'm just joking. And then, will we be able to, Dr. Ball, can we have our liaison from JEF, Ms. Canoyer, on a monthly basis, give us a report on what's going on in the foundation and proceeds that come in and whatnot? Is that okay?
I'm certainly happy to jot down some notes from what from what happens at our monthly meetings and forward it to Ms. Holmes to send out to everyone. Be more than happy to do that.
Okay, thank you. And that's all.
Okay. Mr. Macias.
The internal audit, is it going to be on October's agenda? Melinda or
Yes.
Dr. Ball?
Yes, sir.
It's going to be? Okay, so that's my concern. The same TASB conference, I'll be attending that as well, so it's going to be, I think, always good to see our counterparts from across Texas. That's all I have.
Ms. Canoyer.
I'm going to TASB as well. I don't think I have anything else to say.
Okay. Mr. LaFoille.
I won't be going to TASB because when it came up, I wasn't feeling very well and I was having problems, and they seem to be coming back now. Thank you.
Okay, and I will also be attending the TASB conference next week. We will now, the board will now adjourn into closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Texas Open Meetings Act. Section 551.074, discussing personnel, the personnel report and updates including new hires, resignations, and administrative appointments. 7B, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, attorney consultation regarding legal issues related to threatened litigation by Mercedes Fuller. 7C, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, private consultation with the district's attorney to discuss status of pending and potential litigation and to discuss retention of Gravely and Pearson LLP with regard to potential construction defects at DW Rutledge Stadium. The time is 8:18.